that even though we have an El Nino that's building that should bring rain to California, how do they know that we shouldn't count on El Nino to bring us rain? How do they know that? Are we not scheduled to get any rain? Because at this point, it's not forecasting, it's scheduling. And this is Raytheon giving us this headline, not NOAA. How can they possibly know that we're not going to get any rain out of an El Nino? Because they can migrate this moisture across us as long as they want. And how secure can any of our futures be when we don't control what should be natural, when we don't control the weather? They control how much falls on us, how much not, how toxic it is, what other chemicals there may be in it. We're getting aluminum, barium, strontium, copper, manganese, and all these metals are toxic in and of themselves. But you start to mix these metals, and now you have a very lethal mix. You have something called synergistic toxicity. In the case of aluminum and mercury, we all have mercury in us, we know that. We all have aluminum in us now, we know that. There'll be some testing data presented tomorrow. Every human subject tested, whether it's hair, urine, or blood, is showing massive amounts of these metals. In the case of aluminum and mercury, when you mix these two metals with synergistic toxicity, you can increase that toxicity by 10,000%. So when you consider how lethal we know each of these metals are, and you bump that up to that degree, it's a bad mix.
Fear is what's driving all of this. Fear of those who are the perpetrators, their fear of exposure. Fear from some people who could come forward, but they just want to make it to retirement. We're talking about people in academia. We're talking about people all over. Wouldn't it be something if we could just turn loose that fear just long enough? There might actually be something that we could do significant that could possibly save the planet. There's a phalanx of problems out there to deal with. In truth of it, it's a harsh reality, but it's true. But this stuff that's being sprayed overhead, with its desiccant effect, smothering plants, metal infiltrating the human body, all these various diseases, they're not going to tell you that they're wrong. The universities are not going to tell you that, sorry, here, you get your money back. We were teaching the wrong stuff the whole time. They're not going to do that.
Record that if global geoengineering was started, it could cause droughts in Asia and Africa. And they state that to the American public for probably obvious reasons. Why would they tell the American public that it could also cause droughts here? Why wouldn't it cause droughts here? There's nothing special about America and the geography here that would not have the same effect as Asia and Africa. If the atmosphere is filled with particulates, those particulates diminish and disperse rainfall, period. There's too many condensation nuclei, so the water droplets do not combine and fall as rain. They simply adhere to those tiny particles and migrate further, and that's exactly what we see.
One of the suggestions about geoengineering has been that we genetically modify trees and plants. We genetically modify crops to be aluminum resistant, and this is ongoing at this time. And part of the geoengineering scheme is to say we're going to put all these chemicals and particles into our atmosphere, which is going to cause air pollution, water pollution, changes in soil pH, and could disrupt agriculture crop production to a great degree. So therefore, instead of saying that maybe this isn't a good idea that we pollute our air, water, and soils with the chemicals we're going to put into the atmosphere, which do come back down, there's a scheme abounding, which is happening right now, to modify some crops so that they are aluminum resistant to the types of chemicals and particles they're going to put into the atmosphere.
It's just going to get worse until the point where we're not going to be able to grow anything at all unless it's a Monsanto genetically modified abiotic stress resistant seed.
The chemical companies and the genetic and Monsanto and all of these companies are working together to make us totally dependent on their products for growing corn or growing any kind of agricultural product or trees, whatever. We're going to corporatize not only where the rainfall goes and who gets it through geoengineering and weather modification schemes, but we're also going to say that these are going to be the only crops that are going to grow in areas where we're putting in toxic chemicals that are coming down and altering the soils.
One of the most basic things about human society is that we need food and water. And these are two of two of the things that are most severely dependent upon good weather. Rain at the right time of the year, sunshine so crops can grow, not enough sunshine and they don't grow, too much water, the plants die, not enough water, the plants die. All of this goes back to the amount of food that's available. So if you starve people, they will be vulnerable. They will be much easier to manipulate and forced to do whatever a government wants them to do.